Hello everyone, so I'm a student here in Canada. I work part-time as a Uber Eats driver, and today I'm gonna show you guys how the work is, how much we can make per hour and all of that. So if you're studying here in Canada, you're allowed to work 20 hours per week, which is part-time. Maybe you can work in a restaurant, in a shop, you can work anywhere you want, but you have a limit of 20 hours per week. As I came here to do flight school, the schedule is never set. We can book flights in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon. Sometimes we have ground school at a certain time, it might change. So for me, having a flexible schedule was pretty important. That's why I chose working with the food apps, Doordash, Uber Eats, Instacart. I'm gonna talk about them a little bit later. Today I'm gonna work around 6 hours. I'm gonna show you guys how the deliveries are, how far they are, how much they pay per delivery, and what I think of the work in general. So one of the first things I did after getting to Vancouver was to buy a bicycle. I got a bike with the purpose of doing food delivery. To apply is very simple. You just need to get your SIN number, then you can register with the app. They do a quick background check, you get a bag and you're ready to work. You can start anytime you want, you can schedule the best times for you, and it's pretty simple, it's pretty chill. So with a bike can be a bit tough, especially if you're not used to bike that much. I would do between 30 and 40 kilometers every day I was working, and that would be like 4, maybe 5 times a week. So it's pretty exhausting. You need to know how to pace yourself. Downtown was the best place to work with a bike, because in the other regions normally the deliveries are too far. In downtown everything is close together, so it's not that bad. I see a lot of people using bikes to do in downtown. Last week my car broke down, so I got on the bike again, and I did over 110 kilometers within 3 days. So I started working with Doordash because the application for Uber Eats took a bit longer. Doordash was working out just fine, so I was doing Doordash for a couple months. During winter, I got a job in a restaurant, the same restaurant my brother is working for a while now, and it's pretty chill. The pay is good, but the problem was the schedule. Again, my flight school, sometimes I need to fly in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon. I have ground school, and I needed something more flexible. I got a 50cc scooter and I kept doing deliveries with Doordash and then Uber Eats. The scooter wasn't the safest way to get to school, especially when it's raining, so I ended up getting the car, and it just made sense for me to continue using the same apps. A little comparison between the apps I use. Some people ask me which app is the best one, why do you use Uber Eats and other ones. So Doordash, I'm still registered as a bike, so I only use Doordash when I'm biking. Uber Eats works out pretty good. The pay is a bit better than Doordash in my point of view. Doordash base pay is kind of too low. If I'm not wrong, it's like $3 for the base pay, and then it goes up from there. People seem to tip a little bit better on Uber Eats for some reason. If you're using Doordash, sometimes you need to schedule your work in advance. Uber Eats lets you start anytime, so that's pretty good. So if you want to start at 2 p.m, if you want to start at 2:20, you just click start and you're working. And the other app I'm using is called Instacart. It's basically the same thing, but instead of delivering food from a restaurant, you do grocery. You go to a grocery shop and you shop for them. Whatever they need from the supermarket, you get a list of the stuff they want, and you just get and deliver to their door. So yeah, with Instacart, you need to do groceries. Sometimes it's a bit tricky to find some of the products.
Make a left turn on Alpha Avenue.
People order, especially if they have a different food habit than you have. Maybe it's a product you've never seen before in your life, you don't know the name, you don't know where it is. If you can't find it, you need to message them in order to tell you couldn't find, maybe, and then they're gonna ask for something else. So you always need to be talking to the customer. Sometimes they're not on their phone, so it just takes time, and time is money. So I think Uber Eats is a little bit better than Instacart in that sense. Sometimes Instacart has grocery runs that are very simple and you can get it done pretty fast and they pay well, but all in all, I think Uber Eats still takes the win in that one. So how much money can you make with Uber Eats? So I would say between 20 and 25 Canadian dollars per hour. Sometimes a bit less, sometimes a bit more. It depends what time you're working, and it also depends on how much people are tipping you. But the average is around 20 to 25 dollars an hour, which is pretty good. It's more than the minimum wage. You can start anytime you want. You can work with your own car. You can play your music. 1 and 2 are done. 10 bucks. Tips will come later on. The app shows you the hotspots, so I'm just gonna move closer to downtown where there's more happening. So in a normal day, I would normally work between 4 and 5 hours. I either do 5 times a week 4 hours, or 4 times a week 5 hours, but it's always around 20 hours, maybe a bit less, I guess. And the earnings are always around like 20-25 bucks an hour, which is great, because in a month working part-time you can make almost $2,000, you know. That's more than enough to pay for rent if you're sharing a house or an apartment, food and phone, car insurance, all the expenses you have as a student. So someone asked me, why don't I work as a Uber driver for passengers? To be a Uber driver, you need at least 2 years driving experience in BC, and I just got here, so I can't do that. For Lyft, you need 3 years of driving experience in Canada. I also don't have that. Maybe in the future, I'm not sure, but it's a possibility. I normally work around East Vancouver and downtown. With Uber Eats, everything is pretty fluid, so you can get a delivery to the West End, and then the next one can bring you all the way to Surrey. You can say yes, you can say no. With Doordash, you're kinda on one spot, you know. You're either in downtown, either in the East Van, South Van. Doordash has different areas where Uber is just free. The entire map is basically unlocked at all the time. So if you want to go somewhere, you just drive there. You can make some deliveries and then come back. It's totally up to you. So if you don't like downtown for some reason, you can avoid that area. If you don't like other spots, you can also avoid them. I personally don't like downtown that much, because most of the deliveries there are for apartments, and so you need to buzz in, take the elevator up. Normally people don't come downstairs to pick the order up from you, and that's kind of pain in the ass, because you need to look for a parking spot, which in downtown is not that easy sometimes, and elevator up and down, especially now with COVID. Normally you can't be that many inside the elevator, so you need to wait for people to, you know, use it. There's a line, and it just takes time. It's a bit annoying. In downtown, it makes more sense with a bike or an electric bike, because with a car it can be a bit annoying, you know. If you guys want, I can make a video about the car itself and how much it costs to maintain it, for insurance, and how much I paid for it, everything in details. I can make one next week maybe. If you guys have any questions about Uber Eats, DoorDash, or anything you want to know, just ask down in the comments, and I'm gonna answer in the next video. I'm also gonna make a video about the living costs here in Canada, especially as an international student, because normally we're looking for cheap rent and cheap options around the city. Vancouver is known to be very expensive, especially if you're coming from another country. Vancouver can be pretty pricey, so it's good if you know your way around. It's good to plan ahead, so I'm gonna make a video about living costs and all of that. In order to work with a car here, you're gonna need a driver's license, of course. It doesn't necessarily have to be from Canada. You can still drive with a driver's license from another country if it's translated to English, just so they can read it, of course. But the problem is, if you have a driver's license from another country, like I had mine from Brazil, insurance is gonna be crazy expensive for you. It's way cheaper if you get the one from BC, and it's so simple, so it's a no-brainer, you know. When I got this car, I was still driving with my Brazilian license, And back then insurance cost me $450 per month, and that for me was insane. It's like, whoa, 400 bucks per month just for insurance. That was 20% of the price that I paid for the entire car every month. And as soon as I got the BC license, it dropped to $230 if I'm not wrong. If you're coming to Canada and you have a driver's license, first thing you do when you get here, just get your BC driver's license. It's super fast, it's cheap to do. Just make sure you prioritize that, because that's gonna save you a lot of money. Just got 2 new deliveries, both from the same restaurant, so to pick them up is gonna be pretty chill, and deliveries aren't really far from each other, so let's go. Another thing you need to consider if you're planning to work with Uber Eats or Doordash is the time, what time you're working. Doordash sometimes they have extra pay between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. and also from 4 or 5 to 9 p.m. for dinner time. And Uber, it's busier around those times also. It's when people are normally eating, of course. Sometimes the tips are better during nighttime. People are more prone to be having a family meal or a night out with friends, and they are ordering big meals. And if they're gonna tip you a percentage of what they order, it's nicer and better if it's a big order. Normally, if you're by yourself and you're just buying a Subway sandwich, chances are you're not gonna tip that much, right? Especially if it's a small cheap meal. Also, weekends tend to be a little bit better than weekdays. Tips are normally better during the weekends. People are normally having bigger meals over the weekend. Right, first one is done. I'm heading to the second one right now. As soon as I finish this one, I'm probably gonna be finishing the first hour, so I'm gonna let you guys know how much I've made. And around East Vancouver, it's super chill, especially when you're dropping it off. There are no big buildings around this area, so you're never stuck in an elevator, going up and down, dialing, you know. So you just drop in front of the houses. Most of the houses in Canada, they have no fences or walls. You just leave at the door and that's it. You just snap a photo, send to them through the app saying hi, food's at the door, just as requested. Enjoy your meal and you're done. So it's pretty simple, easy and fast. This last delivery was one of the annoying ones. The lobby's on the other side of the block and wait for the elevator and all of that stuff. $18 so far in this hour, and that's not counting the tips I might get from these 4 orders. I have no idea how much they're gonna be, but maybe later on they're gonna pop up and I'll let you guys know. 2 orders for 10 bucks, 13 kilometers. It's a bit far away, but I'm gonna do. So you just click in accept and they're gonna give you the directions for the first one, which is really near where I am. It's A&W's fast food. The good thing about fast food is that most of the times you can simply drive through the drive-thru and get the order. You don't need to find a parking, you don't need to leave the car anywhere, you can just grab it through the window. But the bad part about fast food is normally the tips related to fast food are not that good, because people that are buying fast food, it's probably not an expensive meal or anything, but it's alright. It's a double delivery. Normally I don't like to do them so much, but sometimes, you know, why not?
Hi there, thanks for holding. What can I get for you?
Uber Eats pickup for James.
Okay, you can go. Thanks.
So yeah, once you get to the restaurant, it's gonna give you the name of the person and also a code. Some restaurants ask what's the code. Most of the places I go to, I just
Make a left turn on Semlin Drive, then make a left turn on East Hastings Street.
most of the restaurants I go to, I just give them the name. It's normally enough, but sometimes they're gonna ask for the code. If there's anything the restaurant wants from the driver, it's gonna let you know right here. And then you can rate the pickup, like how's the pickup. You just say poor parking or long wait, those kind of things. So I'm just gonna put like long wait. save, and then next pickup, and then it's gonna give you the address and directions. Uber Eats by itself, like the app acts as the map, so you don't really have to use Google Maps or Waze. Uber Eats is gonna do that for you. If you want to, you can use another app to get your directions, but this one works pretty well, kind of thing. But the map here works well enough, so it's easier than switching between apps. Oh yeah, and about the bags, once you register with the apps, they're normally gonna give you a very low quality cheap bag with a little bit of a thermal insulation thing on the inside, but you need to buy your own. If you want like a bag like this one, you need to buy. They ask a price that's not really fair for what it is. I mean, you're working for them, they should at least give you the bag. But anyway, you can find secondhand. A lot of people start doing that as a part-time thing, and they give up, or they just work for a while, or they're leaving the country for whatever the reason. A lot of people are selling those. Have a good one. So anyway, instead of paying 50 or 60 bucks for a bag, you can just buy a second-hand one for 20 bucks or 25, whatever you can find maybe on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. Facebook Marketplace is very big here in Vancouver. You can find basically anything. So yeah, Canadians are very good in buying things they don't need and giving away. This is a good example. Value Village is a thrift shop. You can find really new, nice clothes sometimes, because people just buy it, they don't use it, so they just give it away or they sell it.
Make a left turn on.
I found a ski jacket last year. It's a $400, really nice Montec ski jacket, and I paid 40 bucks for it in Value Village. The tags were still on. It's something you could never find back home in Brazil, or I guess in other countries. Like, why would you buy a $400 jacket, not use it at all, and then just donate it? The thing is, it's easy to find those type of things secondhand in a very good condition if you want to. Delivery bags included. So if, like me, you're gonna do your deliveries with a car, you need to remember that gas, it's not that cheap. So if you're working for 4 hours or something, you're gonna probably drive around 80 kilometers, and that's gonna cost you around 8 bucks or so, basically 10 cents a kilometer, I would guess, if your car is not crazy on gas. You need to think that that's gonna be taken from your profit, of course. And if you're buying the car just because you want to work with it, you need to remember that insurance is also not cheap, and I pay over 200 bucks per month for insurance, so I need a car anyway to go to school and other stuff. It doesn't really matter if I'm gonna work with it or not. I need to pay the insurance regardless.
Have a delicious barbecue.
I accidentally accepted an order, so I'm gonna cancel it. Every time you cancel or don't accept an order with DoorDash, your acceptance rate drops. But Uber Eats doesn't really show you that. I don't think it matters that much if you keep denying orders until you get one you wanna do. So I've been working for 2 hours right now, and I've made $42. And I've made $42.04, so that's a bit over 20 bucks per hour. I've drove 37 kilometers, and I'm not gonna accept orders that take me away from the hotspots. Sometimes the deliveries are okay, but sometimes the orders take you to a place that's pretty dead, you know, there's not a lot of deliveries around, or they don't pay that well. So I'm gonna stay around here and see if I can get a better delivery, maybe going towards a busier area. Otherwise I'm just gonna wait a bit. If that doesn't happen, I'm just gonna drive back to a more busy hotspot. I finished that last order in Metro Town. The problem here is it's a big mall area, and the restaurants, they're all kind of next or in the mall, and the traffic's heavy. There's no parking around, and I'm just gonna leave this area because it's kind of frustrating to find parking to pick stuff up. So I'm just gonna take Kingsway and get closer to downtown. Still in East Van, things are more chill and relaxed, you know. Alright, so I just accepted an order that's paying 15 bucks. It's a bit far away. It's gonna take me 30 minutes, so 15 bucks in 30 minutes, it's good enough. It's 2 deliveries combined.
Korean barbecue.
One of the deliveries is in UBC, which is University of British Columbia. The drive there is nice. I'm gonna make a time lapse so I can do it on top of the video and I'm just talking. So you get to see some of the
1 kilometer pickup on the right.
So you get to see some of the streets of Vancouver. So I've been working for a bit more than 3 hours and I've made 64 bucks. Not counting the tips that might come later on. I'm at UBC right now. And this building is actually pretty cool. Let me show you guys. And just in case you're an X-Men fan, that nice building where they have this school is in Victoria. It's actually a building there. Anyway, now I'm gonna get out of UBC because the deliveries here are never that good. So I've been working for 4 hours. I'm gonna drop this one off and then I'll check how many orders and how much I've made so
In
far.
600 meters, keep right onto BC1A using the upcoming right lane.
Alright, so in this 4 hours I've made $74, a bit below $19 per hour. So I've done 11 deliveries. Number 12 is here with me. So with this one I'm gonna pass the $80 mark. So it's a pretty average day, I would say. Just another day at the office. Alright, so $93 in 4 hours and a half, exactly in the 20 bucks per hour average. 12 trips completed, and I drove
To get me the CD single.
and I drove 94 kilometers, so exactly $1 per kilometer. I feel like I'll do one more on the way home and I'm gonna call it a day. 100 bucks. So yeah, so I can get home a bit earlier. So if anyone has any question about Uber Eats, Doordash, Instacart, or anything related to the flight school, working part-time, whatever it is, just ask me down in the comments. And also let me know what type of video you guys would like to see in this channel regarding student life in Vancouver, or expenses, cost. If there's anything specific, just ask me and I might do a video about it if a lot of people want to know. Because before I came here, I would research a lot of videos about Vancouver, working and all of that stuff, because it's something I would have to do when I got here. So I love to see before I get to the place, you know. I know sometimes it can be a bit hard to find that kind of information, so if I can help somehow, it would be nice. So just let me know. Other than that, I'm gonna start flying again, get my CPL flight test done, so I can start flying the multi-engine plane and also get my IFR rating. And right after that, I'll do my instructor rating and start working as an instructor with my school. So I'll be posting more videos flying around Vancouver and BC, hopefully next week, depending on the weather. And that's it. I see you guys next week, I guess. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and I see you next time. So I decided to do another delivery on the way home, because I had to drive here anyway. So the total now is $113 in 13 trips in 5 hours. So a bit more than 20 bucks per hour during 5 hours. So yeah, that's it. Thanks.